Hi, this is Mary Morgan of the Morgan Network. Welcome to Marketing Sense. Today I'm in San Mateo and delighted to be asking my friend and colleague, Mike Linton, 3 questions about marketing these days. Greetings, Mike. For people that don't know you, tell us about you and what you do.
Hi, Mary. So right now I'm with a startup in San Mateo. It's a stealth startup, but I joined it because I think it will be very attractive to retailers and hopefully marketers when we come out of stealth, maybe sometime this summer. Prior to this, I'm long ago, really long ago, I came out of grad school and went into P&G brand management. I can do laundry very, very well. And then went to Best Buy at the end of '98, became the first ever CMO there, where I ran all the marketing, built direct marketing from scratch, research, call centers, the inside ad agency, and then government, public, and community relations. From there I went to eBay as general manager and then CMO. Then I took a little time off, and I'm lucky enough to be on a couple boards, Peets Coffee Tea, Support.com, and Capella Education in Minneapolis. And I'm doing the startup thing as well, which is quite intriguing to be in a totally different space. So that's probably more than you wanted, but there you have
No,
the
it's
background.
cool. And because you are one of a very few that has been a CMO more than once, my three questions are going to be around that. So question 1, what should be on every CMO's mind these days?
Okay, so I have a theory on the CMO job, which is it's all about balance. And by balance, I look at balance in 2 ways. The first is balancing the need for short-term results with long-term positioning and success. And the second part of balance would be balancing tools that I know, marketing tools that I know, with experimentation into areas that I don't know. I think these 2 go together because your job is to deliver the financial results today by protecting the financial performance of tomorrow. And the only way to protect that long-term financial performance is to make sure the brand is positioned correctly, you have new tools that you can use, and new messaging about that, and you're ensuring that you are paying attention to customer acquisition and, most importantly, repeat purchase. One of the things about balance, I think that is extremely important, is almost all the pressure on the CMO is designed to move today's results, to make today's numbers, and then to make them more. And to do that, the pressure becomes also to pour money into tools that you know. Whether that would be the all on sale or the circular for retail or for search for internet companies, there is enormous pressure to deliver today's results. And that's good. You have to deliver today's results. But if you take your eye off the long-term ball, you know, there's a reason CMOs last about 2 years in their job, and that's because eventually the long-term tools, the short-term tools that you know don't work anymore. And you get outpositioned by competitors that are moving faster.
Let's talk more about ROI, since you brought that up.
Okay.
What advice would you give marketers in approaching ROI?
So I think the whole focus on return on investment is a good thing for marketers and for companies. Obviously, no matter where you are, you want to return your shareholders' investment. And that's whether it's return on capital, return on investment, whatever you want to think about, you want to measure how you are performing. When you look at marketing, and back to that balance question, new versus old, trying to ROI absolutely everything is a doom loop. My view on ROI is if you can measure it, you should. And secondly, you have to have an ROI on your total marketing spend, or you're doing a disservice to your company, your shareholders, and your function. However, within marketing, I think it is crazy to try and ROI everything, particularly if it's innovative or new. So examples I would give you, first I'll give you a theoretical example, then I'll give you an actual example. Would that work for you, Mary?
That's great.
Okay, so the theoretical example would be, did you put an ROI on Ben Franklin's kite? You know, because you can see this purchasing would say kites cost a lot. You know, are you sure you want to fly that? A lot of bad things can happen. I don't even understand what this lightning electricity thing is. What do you think this kite is? How much are you going to pay out the kite? In the end, you may not fly that kite. My advice is go fly the kite and see what happens, because That's the only way you can discover electricity. Some real life examples for me would be, at Best Buy we decided we could do a deal with the Rolling Stones and actually make a DVD with them, take the rights to manufacture it and distribute it. We were going to have exclusive rights to do this, and we were going to drop the price from, at that time, concert DVDs were selling about 59 to 79 bucks. We were going to sell a 4-disc set for $29.99. I can actually spend days working on the ROI on this, but because no one had ever done it, the best we could do is give a big range of ROI and go forward and give it a try. There was no way to test market this either. And I think if we had held that thing to some ROI hurdle and tried to figure it all out, we would have been wrong and we would have wasted a lot of time. My advice is move forward. I'm gonna actually add something to this. Move forward and then measure with an innovation. Ideally, you can do this in a small bite. So maybe you want to test your first ever loyalty program. You can roll that out in a small group and see what it does. And then when you roll it out longer term, you have some data. But if you're going to spend a whole bunch of time ROIing everything and trying to stack it up against everything you know, almost always the new ideas will get killed as they work their way up the chain. Two things I've almost always done is put some money in the experimental pool that is untouchable and must be used for experiments. The second thing I've actually used is comp. I've comped my teams when I've been able to on the need to test some things they can expand the next year that were new tools that we didn't know about. And I've let the team use that money and test the tools and then pick the tool they wanted to expand. But I never want to take the pressure off the group and my team and myself and my company to test those new ideas. So I say use ROI, but not in a way that it crowds out all the innovation and the creativity possible.
Can you share with us a favorite learning experience or story?
I don't know if it's a learning experience, it's kind of a principle. And I developed this principle kind of when I left Procter and went to Progressive Insurance, and I thought the consumer goods rules would be great, and I thought I was pretty good at math. And when I got to Progressive, I realized, man, there's a lot of people really good at math, many of them much better than me, and that the consumer goods principles, about half of them made sense, and that industry actually moved off of different dynamics and different measures than consumer goods. This was a difficult learning to experience, and to fully understand. I think probably though it helped me a lot because as you look at other companies, I developed a couple of principles for entering, which is first you have to understand the basic, how does the company make money? Like what are the fundamental drivers of the company? The second is how do consumers and the marketplace and competitors play in that business? Because it's not the same. Each business has totally different drivers. And the third is you can only move as fast to change and to bring innovation as a company and a marketplace and a consumer group will let you. And understanding where those boundaries are really, really important. So I think the thing would be kind of understanding the dynamics and the culture, first of all, before you actually do anything is really key. And we can go into that in depth if you like, but one principle does not fit all companies, and one dynamic does not fit all companies. And understanding that, I think, was probably one of the best things that happened to me, even though I will say it wasn't the easiest learning to absorb.
Thanks for taking the time to chat, and go Blue Devils.
Yeah, go Duke.